Hello to you and welcome to Adelante Chicago. Bienvenidos. Yo soy Lourdes Duarte. Thank you so much for joining us today. So let's begin by digging into a topic that has all hands on deck as Chicago and many cities really throughout the country struggle with ongoing violence, ongoing gun crime. On the southwest side, a community group is getting the support of a longtime Chicago institution, La Casa Norte, to do some of their work. And joining us now to tell us more about Increase the Peace is Berto Aguayo, who leads that group. They are celebrating the opening of a new office there. Nice to see you, Berto.
Likewise, Lourdes.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's start with what is Increase the Peace, because it's an organization that you've been leading now for a bit.
Yeah, so Increase the Peace, we're an organization that started out 5 years ago, really with the mission to develop young leaders and to promote peace through leadership development, community organizing, policy advocacy, to really tackle the root cause of the violence that we're seeing, because ultimately we knew to be true that we can't solve the issue of violence in our communities without engaging young people and helping give young people the tools, not only to change themselves, but to change their community in the process. And now we're really lucky to be able to partner up with La Casa Norte to open up our community office. We were out of a garage for the past year, handing out food, engaging young people, and now to actually have a community office to be a sanctuary for young people, a safe space. I think it's a beautiful blessing.
Yeah, and I think it's so great when you've got a big organization like La Casa Norte working with an organization that's just now trying to rise up and help the people in their communities. Who went to who? Like, did you go to La Casa Norte and say, we need your help, or did they come to you?
Well, actually, the beautiful thing about the community work that we've been doing is that we know that we can't do it alone, and we know that we need partners. And luckily, La Casa Norte has been one of our partners for a very long time, because our missions intersect. La Casa Norte is an organization that serves youth and families who are confronting homelessness. And we're an organization that also helps young people develop as leaders to fight the root cause of issues like homelessness, but issues like violence prevention. And so when we started doing work together, food pantries, marches, hiring young people, all of those things, we said, hey, you know what? We could actually solidify this partnership, and how about we think about opening up a joint office together to serve our Southwest Side families. And it just kind of happened organically, and we said, hey, collaborations are key. There's unity in community, and I think that's basically what this new office is that unity and those partnerships and being able to work with one another and complement each other.
Okay, so for somebody who may be driving through your community and they see the office, what can they expect to get out of it if they want to walk in and seek your help?
Sure, a variety of resources. So we're located at 2523 West 47th Street in the Brighton Park neighborhood. Coming in actually right now as I'm talking, we're having folks get help with rental assistance. La Casa Norte is leading the efforts to engage families in getting rental assistance up to $25,000 in back pay for any rental assistance that they may need. Folks can also expect to come here, and if they're son or daughter, they're looking for a safe place to be, this is it. They can be here, work out of here. We can try to see if we have any job opportunities currently available to work with us or to work with any one of our partners. Let's say somebody comes into the office and they have maybe a random issue that they may need help with. If we can help, we'll be there to provide those resources and assets. I think it's also important to note that there's a lot of organizations that are very small that are doing the work every day to better our communities. And if you're an individual or group or organization that needs some space to just be, to get some free Wi-Fi, get some nice coffee, and to just get some good work done, we're here. Just let us know, pop in. You can feel free to use our space.
Okay, in Brighton Park. I know that you've been out in the community, obviously a lot over the course of the last few years, working with our youth, as you mentioned. And we tackle this issue of gun violence and crime being up. As somebody who's working with a lot of the youth, what do you see could fix this issue? Like, what do you think needs to be done and needs to happen here?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's very simple to do is to really fund our communities, to give us the resources that we need to be a thriving and healthy community. We are losing more people to gun violence than we are to COVID. And yet, when we had this virus and this pandemic, the city, the state, and the federal government united to fund our communities to really be in our neighborhoods And now we have to do the same with the gun violence epidemic, right? City, state, and federal government officials need to use that same kind of investment, that same kind of laser sharp focus to fix this issue that's plagued our communities for far longer than COVID did, and it's hurting our communities right now even more so. And so, what does that look like? It looks like in the city of Chicago. Right now, the city of Chicago only spends about 1% of violence, 1% of their budget on violence prevention services. So we need to up that amount to make sure we're preventing violence and not just reacting to it. And we also need to fund the wraparound social services that youth need, right? In addition to job opportunities, young people also need housing. Young people also need access to a mental health clinic. They need access to mental health services. We need good schools, right, where we have art classes, where young people are able to join a basketball league after school, or maybe they're able to do an art program. And the reality of the matter is that those opportunities and those resources are currently lacking in the neighborhoods with the most gun violence. If you look at the top 15 neighborhoods in the city of Chicago with the highest levels of gun violence, those are also the very same neighborhoods with the highest levels of young people that are unemployed and out of school. So there's a direct link between the lack of resources, the lack of opportunities, and the violence that we see every day on the street. And it's been my experience being on the ground that when we give young people an opportunity, an ecosystem, and the wraparound services needed for that person to be a thriving member of our community, they will almost always succeed at doing so. And so we just need to scale up that work and do that more broadly in all of our neighborhoods.
All right, Berto Aguayo with Increase the Peace. We will link their website to our Facebook page as well as WGNTV.com. Thank you so much, Berto.
Thank you, Lourdes.